this is my garter bar. It is made with hairpins between two pieces of wood. This was given to me. I'm planning on doing 4 rows of the garter stitch. I line my garter bar up to my needles and push with my other garter. I have 2 of them. Push with my other garter bar. Bring my garter bar forward to rest in the hooks of my needles. Push my garter bar back. Sometimes you can just push it off the needles. Now my stitches are on the garter bar. I pull the garter bar out, holding the needles in place. I make sure my latches are open. I take it off. Then I rotate it, flip it. Now, I could line it up and try to get the stitch onto the needle. I found this is the easy way of doing it. Holding the working, call this the working garter bar. Excuse me. Holding the working bar in my right hand, the second garter bar in the left hand. I am lining my pins up so that they're right on top with the empty one underneath. And then I will just gently push the stitches from one bar to the other so they stay on the channel. Okay, now I've got 2 in right there. I don't know if you can see it messing. But they didn't transfer. This one wasn't working. So you just grab it. You want to hold. It's going to take the, see how it undid that stitch? That's not a problem. Just pull it so it's, I'm doing it real slow. So I only want to take the 1 stitch off. With this one, you gotta go into the loop. Need to separate a little bit. Go into the loop. You want to grab this piece. So you're gonna go into there. You use the latch hook. It's a lot easier. Get this one in. There it is. So grab the bottom loop as you're looking at it. And you're trying to create the stitch as you undid. So just pull this one up and over. I think that's loose. Yeah. And now I'm ready to put my stitches back on. So I pull my needles all the way forward, slide my carriage over to the opposite side, and then rehang my stitches. So I'm going to let the garter bar rest into the, now see how I need that needle not to move. So I take my other garter bar, put it behind the stitches, and just hold it in place. I'll show you how I'm holding that in just a second. So now I take that one. See how I'm holding that one with that one? It's between the needles. So if I push it back, it'll stop. See? And that's how you do the row. That's 1 row. And then you want to narrow. line up your garter bar. Push your needles out. Push the needles back so that the stitches go onto the garter bar. Pull the needles out. This is when I usually slide it, because then it's not in my way. Flip my work. Line my second garter bar up. And slide the work down. You want to try to make sure you're only picking up one loop. So I see two loops here, so I don't want to make sure I don't grab more than the one loop. And you get that when the needles aren't completely lined up. So sometimes you have to push the needle down. Okay, I got one needle on each. Then I pull it off. Then I look to make sure I've got the needles. I think that's about as close as I can get. And then you hang the work back. And if the latches are not open, just use whichever tool you use. I use this tool. What this is, it's for pottery, for shaping the clay. Really good for this. And just move the needles, the live stitches back onto the needles. You can hold them if you've just got a few to slide them on. See, I'm missing a strand over here. Just put that right back up there. And slide everything back. Now that is my second row. Now if you've got your counter on, and since I want to do 4 rows, my counter will actually reach 8. Load up, thread my carriage, move across, remove the work, pull the needles out all the way. I forgot to make sure the needles are open, which this can happen at any time when you want to do it. Slide my work over, flip, turn, flip, whichever terminology you want. Transfer from one bar to the other. You want to make sure that the empty one comes up from underneath. Slide it onto the other bar, making sure you only got one needle, and then put it back on the machine. Now a lot of times what I'll do is I'll set my bar down here and I'll hold it while I'm flipping it. Now I do have pressure on my bar so that it doesn't come off the needles. And then I just pull the bar backwards. So I got a nice little garter stitch going on there. And push it back. Bring my carriage back into play. Load it. Stitch a row. Now you don't have to necessarily use the other garter bar to remove it, because you can use any straight stitch rather. Pop it off, pull it out, open the latches, remove the work, unthread the carriage, slide across, flip the work, pick up the other bar, transfer the work. And I mean, it doesn't have to line up exactly, meaning like that. You just have to find a spot that you can transfer the work over. Because you do just want to grab, so you can see it a little bit here, just one stitch. See now right there I got two, so I don't want to release that just yet. I want to, because it's easier to do it here. I'm a little time consuming. I'm pushing it up and pulling the work underneath and sliding it back down. Okay, I grabbed it that time. And remove the bar. Put the work back on the machine. Put the needles back on the needles. Push the work back in. Load the carriage up. Okay. Now when I get this flip, that's when it'll be done. Because this is my 4th row. And I'll pull it off and I'll show you. Now can you see the little bit of a garter stitch going on here? Now what I'm going to do at this point, because I only needed a total of 4 rows, is I'm going to put it back on here, and then I'm going to cast off, and that I'm going to do off camera. But that's all I do for how I use the homemade garter bar. See, now I can't flip that on there because I didn't transfer. What did I do not right? Let's see. I guess I twisted it a couple times. But I'm on my last row, so it's not. Basically, stitch, knit a row, move the work to one of the garter bars, flip it, move it to the other garter bar, move it back to the machine, stitch a row, and that is one garter stitch row, which is actually 2 knits rows. Okay, I hope you enjoy, and if you get a chance to have a garter bar, have fun with it.